To illustrate revenue recognition in a real world example and the revenue recognition model that in our textbook, uh, we are looking at a footnote to the annual report for Apple Incorporated that we're all familiar with. So they start out their description of how they apply this model to their various products listed here. And remember that we learned that the amount is entitled to when the control is transferred to the customers. And it talks about when that is. Usually, some are done when at a point in time when products are shipped, or when they provide services. Apple provides services that transfers over time as services delivered. Remember, those were the two models at which we can recognize revenue: a point in time or over a period of time. So they adjust their transaction price based on future product returns, price protection they provide, and customer incentives, meaning the customer is going to get something in addition or some kind of rebate for their spending. And so that all goes into their process of determining the transaction price. They talk a little bit about the idea of multiple performance obligations with and the prices they come up with that. So if when you can't find a price, they do the best estimate of what those prices would be if they were sold regularly on a standalone basis. So just to give you kind of a situation where there are multiple performance obligations, we've all probably signed up for a phone and service from someone like Apple, but Apple has identified 3 performance obligations that usually are in the sale of an iPhone, a Mac, or iPad. So, first performance obligation, as they see it, and this is the biggest part of it. Remember, because we take this transaction price and allocate it between the different performance obligations. They see it as 3: is the hardware and bundled software. That's the phone and the software itself that when you buy, and that's going to transfer at the time that you leave the store with your phone or it gets delivered to your house. The second performance obligation is the right to receive bundled services. So they're looking at their performance, their iCloud, Siri, and Maps as a separate performance obligation. They can operate separately. They can even be sold separately. They are not necessary for the phone to work, and so they are considered a separate performance obligation. The third is the right to receive, when and if available basis, software upgrades. So we've all had the software upgraded on our phone probably, usually in the middle of the night, and we have a right to receive that because we bought the phone and such. So while you could identify the total price that you pay for the phone, you're really getting, as Apple sees it, 3 different things: the phone and the software to run the phone, the bundled services, and upgrades. So they're going to take the revenue, the amount that you pay for the phone, and allocate it between those 3 different performance obligations. So most of it is allocated to the phone, and so that is recognized as revenue at the time that they deliver your phone. The others are going to happen over time. It says right here, recognized on a straight line basis. That means an equal amount each month or year over that time that is going to be provided. Okay, so that part of the bundled services and the upgrade rights is deferred, meaning when you pay for it, it is unearned. So another term for deferred is unearned. And so that is how Apple is recording that, is they are going to increase unearned revenue. They're going to increase cash when you pay for your phone. They're going to record revenue for the amount of the phone and the software that's allocated to that. And notice they're not telling us exactly how much they do that. They're just telling us the process. All right. So that is a real-to-life example of how a company might think through the revenue recognition process, at least in general, and how that would affect their financial statements.